Okay, let's begin. Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha, and I want to welcome all of our additional living beings into our practice today. So, if you share your life with someone who is furry, someone who wags, someone who flaps, they're feathered or they're scaly or slithery, or if you're someone who raises insects or whatever life form that you share your life with, even the plants, we welcome them all to this living, breathing practice. And I'm so glad you could be here. Happy Halloween, happy Samhain, happy All Souls to Be. Happy day where we can really tap into this particular season, and especially in the northern hemisphere of the globe, where this is a very transitional time. This is a time where we see um, the very thin difference between life and death. And I'd also like to bring forward the insight that the earth is redundantly abundant. So if you notice all the leaves out there, all the little maple seed helicopters that are dancing and falling to the earth, it's so redundant. It's so overwhelming in the abundance. And the teaching of that, the reminder of that, is nothing is ever wasted. And if we can turn that wisdom toward ourselves, we really begin to tap into one of the limitless qualities that we speak about here all the time, which is equanimity or inclusivity. And that means nothing in your life is wasted. Nothing. All the time you fritter away. What if we could reframe it and remind ourselves that this time that I'm wasting isn't actually a waste? Maybe on a deeper level, my soul, my consciousness knows that I need to regulate. I need to calm down. And while scrolling on social media might not be the most productive thing, perhaps, or it might not be the most healthy thing for my visual sense or even my auditory sense, it's nevertheless what I'm choosing to do. And as my awareness grows, I can move away from things that are a little more unskillful toward things that are much more skillful. But I can't do it if I'm constantly giving myself nipping, jabbing paper cuts of negativity. Yeah, it's so good, right? So let's come into that as we conclude our month-long practice of grounding practices. And today we are exploring the root chakra, our legs, our feet, our hips, our mobility, our capacity to land on the earth, to be one with the earth. Even while we ourselves cannot literally root into the earth, like the trees who are impeccable guardians of the oxygen we need to breathe, we can nevertheless root upon the earth, connect with the earth, and remind ourselves of our timeless belonging. Take a moment to breathe, friends. And let's take a moment to allow the body, if it's available to you, to come into a noble posture. And a noble posture is a deliberate posture. And this posture is you sit at the edge of your seat, if at all possible. Your feet are flat on the ground if that's comfortable for you. It isn't always for me. Sometimes my legs don't feel at ease in 90 degrees, so I like my ankles crossed sometimes. I'm sitting in an office chair, so I have one foot propped up, and for some reason, that's what feels right to me. So take notice. Bring your awareness to your shoulders and maybe roll your shoulders up to your ears, like really hunch that neck into your shoulder basin. Just hang out there for a sec. Close your eyes, nobody's watching. And just allow your throat chakra to feel a little bit constricted. And then roll your shoulders gently back. Bring your shoulder blades in intentionally and see how that puts a little arch in the lower back, but it also exposes the heart. It opens the heart and lifts it. And as the shoulders settle down, keep the heart lifted while you straighten your back. You don't want to stay arched. You want to shift your hips a little bit, tuck your belly in so that your heart remains lifted, but your spine is straight. Notice where your hands want to be, and let's put them reverently, palms facing down on our thighs as a way to connect to the root of the body, the place of pristine belonging. Take a deep breath, friends. Breathe in the magnificence of this moment, all the effort that you engaged to be here, the action of prioritizing this hour to come into the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. Allow that to be a celebratory moment. And breathe that in. And on your exhalation, if anything happened this morning that was unpleasant or uncomfortable, allow it to ride the expulsion of your exhalation. Put it out into the ethers. Let the trees sip it up and transform it on your behalf as trees do in their delight of us. Breathe in the moment. Breathe out anything unpleasant. Maybe you have a little bit of worry about what's to come this afternoon or what's going to happen after this meeting. If you're new on the journey of your recovery and if your steps feel a little fragile, being outside of the sanctuary of this practice can be quite unnerving. And to simply recognize that and on the exhalation, call in energetically people who are here to support you, people who are even on the other side of life. This is the time where, as I mentioned, the veil between life and death is very thin. We see it happening with the leaves falling from the earth, leaving the comfort of their mother tree. It looks as if the tree is dying when in fact it is going into a quiet rest, very much alive, just different. It's hibernation time, and it is protected and nurtured by the quilt of its children in the leaves. So too we are protected and minded by these veils of life and death, loved ones who have led the way, our ancestors who have never left us, who are continuing to be alive within us. They are always minding our lives. So even when we step outside of the sanctuary of this practice, we are lovingly guarded, joyfully protected, and anything but alone. Breathe that in. And when you exhale, think of it like a call, a whisper of love to those in the unseen realm with you, in you, breathing. Friends, in the coming weeks, I invite you to walk among the leaves and walk in areas where the landscape is uneven. Purposely put yourself in positions where you might wobble, where your step is unstable. And if you can do that with a degree of intentionality, maybe have some walking sticks or a staff, a wooden stick that you pick up from the ground, something that can catch you. Just know that as you walk along and within the abundance of falling leaves, make space in the noisy mind for the sounds of the drying leaves, their crispness. Notice the smell of the earth entering into a quiet state. And if you're somewhere in the world where you don't experience an autumn as we do in the northern hemisphere of the United States and of the globe especially, pay attention to how autumn appears. And while it might not be leaves that you're walking on, maybe you notice that the grass grows a little bit differently. Flowering plants are slightly new. Maybe the temperature is what you are aware of, or the light and the arc that is happening as the earth moves away from the sun. All of this is an exercise of grounding and anchoring in your legs, in your stance, so that you can sense your connection and belonging to not only the earth, but to the cosmos that experienced the conditions billions of years ago for the earth's birth. And over millions and millions of years of change, of impermanence, the conditions kept shifting to such a degree that a couple 100,000 years ago, the human face began to appear. It's really profound and miraculous. The consciousness that breathes within you has existed since beginningless time. And so the reality of that means that you have never been anything but a child of the divine, anchored in deep belonging. So, should you misstep and stumble, the earth may rise to meet you. You may falter a little bit and meet it. Regardless, you are connected. And as you walk among the abundance of the earth, maybe it's redundancy even, all of the leaf litter that seems like such a mess. What a waste. How annoying. We're going to bag it all up and throw it away. We've forgotten that this is actually the earth's way of nurturing itself. And in our insistence of keeping things neat and tidy, we interfere with the nurturance of the earth. And by extension, we disconnect ourselves to our own sense of nurturance. So, this is a grounding practice to reconnect to what you may have forgotten. You are the earth. You are of the universe. You belong here because you are here, a living, breathing miracle. It matters if you have abused your body and your mind and your heart. It matters only because these missteps and this misguidance presents as an opportunity of learning, presents as a way to redirect and recreate your life, which is what we are doing. Be patient and gentle with yourself, just as you are patient and gentle walking upon this good earth. Breathing in, I have a precious human life. Breathing out, a life defined by negative story and positive experience. Breathing in, I have a practice. Breathing out, that teaches me to drop the stories that keep me small. Breathing in, new insights. Breathing out to create a life of freedom. we're going to have a dedication of merit. See if you can return your body to a noble posture. What we learned and what we heard in our gathering today and in our practice, and during this season of redundant abundance and remembering the ancestors and remembering the limitlessness of our consciousness. This time of year can evoke a great well of emotion. And it is important to remember that tears, like dew dropping from the leaves, are simply our emotions going home. And when we can express our emotions, we make space to receive the messages from the earth and the cosmos. And the one that I think most of us need to hear so often is this: you have only ever been, and you will always be so well loved. Thank you for your practice today, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.